Jeff Gamache, Director of Athletics here at Trinity Western University. Jeff, how does that title sound?
Really excited to be here as the athletic director. I can honestly say that I've always wanted to work at Trinity Western University. In my career path as a teacher, I just didn't anticipate necessarily that it was going to be as athletic director, but now that the opportunity has presented itself, I'm just super excited to be here. I've really enjoyed my time connecting with alums. It's amazing when something gets blasted out on social media, how many people I haven't heard from in 20 years are all of a sudden in contact with me. So that has been really exciting. It's also been great to meet the athletes, to see, I was an athlete here, but this is a whole nother level of athlete that we're dealing with now at Trinity Western, which is so exciting. So I'm very excited. I feel like it's a real honor and something that I look forward to taking on the challenge of going to a whole nother level with our athletics program here. So really excited.
You obviously spent several years here, graduated here, played sports here, coached here, did a lot of things here. You've been gone for 20 odd years or so. What does it kind of feel like? Is it kind of a bit of a homecoming of you of sorts?
It does feel like a homecoming, and I've stayed very connected with Trinity on purpose. I've lived locally, I've coached locally. Many of the kids that I've coached have ended up coming to Trinity Western. My own son is here now. So I have always been an ardent supporter of Spartan Athletics, and most recently within the Spartan Foundation, being the men's volleyball coordinator. So that's kept me really connected, but this is a whole nother level, obviously, when you're going to be the athletic director, you're working here, you're pouring your life into this place. And so I'm really excited to come back and just see how things have changed, because it's not 20 years ago, and lots of new people are here, lots of great ideas are here. We have new sports that we're doing at a completely different level than in my time. So I'm really excited just to see what God has in store for our athletic program, because I feel like there's so many great things already going on, and I just want to see that just continue to grow and expand. And so is there new sports? Is there new levels for like hockey and things like that that are not at the CIS level? That's where I'm excited to see where God leads with that.
Going back a few years to your time here, what was that experience like for you? Obviously a formative time in your life, and how would you describe your time here at Trinity Western?
Yeah, my time here at Trinity Western, my wife and I met my wife here. She's from Ontario, came here, we met. We call that in many ways the golden years of our life. Like, it was just such a rich experience. So lived on campus all 4 years, embraced the whole culture of Trinity Western. So if there was an activity to be a part of, I was a part of it. I was resident director, resident assistant, intramural sports coordinator, discipleship leader. Like, all those opportunities. I've always told everyone, if you can get yourself to Trinity, there's so many opportunities for you to be built into by incredible staff and other peers that even though it costs a lot of money, you just more than make up for that extra cost in the richness of those experiences that you get inside the classroom, outside the classroom, in the gym, outside the gym. So yeah, those were hugely formative years for me. I would say I really learned the value of competition, and learned as a Christian athlete, how do I embrace that in a way that is God honoring. I learned just the value of teamwork. Had incredible teammates and coaches all the way through, and then had the opportunity to kind of give back as a coach and see some more phenomenal athletes come through the program. So those were definitely some of the highlight years of my life, is my time here at Trinity.
And since then, in the time between graduating and now, you coached for a season here. But what have you done? What's kind of life been like for Jeff Gamache since then?
Yeah, so I got my teaching degree. At that point in time, you couldn't get it through Trinity Western, so I had to do it through Simon Fraser University. So I went out, was a teacher at 2 different local schools. I was at LCS, Langley Christian School, for 7 years, and then saw and applied for a vice principal position at MEI. So I've been at MEI for 13 years now as a vice principal, first at the elementary school, then at the middle school. And that's just given me incredibly valuable administrative experience. So what does it take to be a leader? Hiring people, evaluating people, walking beside them through the good, the bad, the very difficult. I've kind of I've had to grow up as a leader in those contexts. So that's given me invaluable experience that I hope to bring into this program for sure. And being that they're both Christian schools, then it's given me a great opportunity to see, as a Christian leader, how do you shepherd, I think would be the word I would use, well. So you have a staff, and you're not just concerned about the day in and day out of their life and what happens just within the work environment, because you're super concerned about what's going on in the rest of their life and being a part of that and helping when time needs to be helped and celebrating when there's times to celebrate. So I've learned from some great people in those two environments, and so I'm looking forward to bringing those skills to the job too.
And now that you are the Director of Athletics here, how do you kind of see the future of Spartan Athletics? I mean, we've had great success on the field, off the field. What does the future look like? How do you feel that you can lead that Spartans towards that?
At the time that I was an athlete here, we didn't call it the complete champion approach. That phrase hadn't necessarily been coined, but I feel like there was a lot of athletes and coaches who that's how they lived out their life. They wanted to do well in not just the area of athletics, but in all areas of their life. So that, quite honestly, that to me is the most exciting piece of coming to Spartan Athletics, is seeing, all right, we have this complete champion approach. How do we take the best of that, improve on it, make it even something that is even more inspirational for our athletes here, for our coaches here? Because I truly think that when you put God first in your life and you're going after excellence in all areas of your life, the area of athletics will take care of itself. And so pursuing that, I think, makes us the kind of people that it doesn't matter if we end up in a sporting environment, because many of our athletes are good enough and they will long term, but many of our athletes will not. But I don't want that to be a determining factor of like, oh, my time at Spartan Athletics was wasted because I didn't end up as a pro athlete somewhere. I just want their time here to be so formative that it doesn't matter what area of life they go into, they are going to be well prepared to do excellent in that area of their life because of their time within the Spartan athletic community. So I'm really excited to lead that.
You've touched on it a few times here, but how do you feel that being at a Christian university and being involved with that athletic program, how does that get married? How do sports and faith come together, and how does that work in tandem?
I think it comes down to the idea that when we do whatever God has gifted us in our life, we've all been given different gifts. And so when you take that gift, you find that gift, and you know when you find that gift, like your heart sings at a different level when you are doing something and doing it well. So I experienced that as an athlete here. When our team was doing just great teamwork and we were performing well, but we were also caring for each other. When that happened, that gave you it just gave you this no different than you're in church and you're praising God and you're raising your hand. Like, it's just that same level of giving glory to God in a different form. And so I think the opportunity for athletes to come here and be challenged to do that in their life, I think is a very unique opportunity that Trinity Western has that makes it different than virtually every other university in Canada, and pretty unique actually in the North American athletic landscape. So, yeah.
In terms of perhaps a young athlete who's watching this video and seeing Jeff Gamache as the new Director of Athletics, you touched on it again here briefly as well, but what is so unique about Trinity Western? What makes it such a wonderful place to grow up as a person, really?
Well, I think the beauty of it is that you have people who all care about the same things. So you have professors who care about the same thing as your coach cares about, who cares about the same thing as your resident assistant in your dorm cares about, as your teammates care about, where there's just this common focus and common desire to see you grow as a person in these same ways, to not just grow, I'm just going to be a great scholar, or I'm just going to be a great athlete, but you're actually being challenged in all these areas of your life to bring them together and say, it's not just one or the other, it's actually the power of the and. You can do this and you can do that. And let's work together to see that happen. So if you're a young athlete that is looking to be challenged in more than just one area of your life, like you want to come and you want to have professors that care about you and care about doing well in the classroom, and you want to have a coach that cares about you and how you do in the athletic world, and you have a roommate that cares about how you relate interpersonally, and then you have you're challenged by an older mentor from your senior year that is like, no, like I want to build into you too as a freshman because I just care about you and where you're going in life. So if that's the kind of environment you're looking for, then that's what Trinity Western has. And I think it's been from the very beginning, there's been an intentionality that has been given to that. And that's the legacy that I want to have carry on here.
Now, finally, you're on the verge of getting things really rolling in this position. What does the first 100 days or so look like for you, and maybe what excites you most about really getting things rolling?
Well, first 100 days for me is going to be to get to know people here. So people like yourself, people, all the coaches, the trainers, the different people on campus who also interact with the athletic department a fair bit. So it's just going to be listening. Hearing, okay, what's your heart? Where do you think we're doing really well? What do you think we can improve on? Taking all that in, and then over the summer, it's going to give me a chance to kind of compile all that, and then starting in August, when we kind of really get the ball rolling here in athletic land at Trinity Western, is to go, okay, this is where we're going. So I kind of see this first 100 days here of really just me learning about what is actually going on here. I have an opinion, I have a bit of an idea, but not a great opinion because I'm not super informed. So informing myself, listening, and I also want to get out and see what other well-established athletic programs are doing. And oh, that's a great idea. Bring that in here. Oh, yeah, you know what? I don't think that necessarily works in our context, so I'm not going to take that in. But so learning from the people inside, also learning from some people that are doing things really well on the outside, bringing that all together, and then coming forward by the time our new year rolls around with kind of the new vision for Spartan Athletics.
Well, Jeff, I know we're all very excited to have you on board. I know the community's excited to have you on board. So thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for coming to do this interview today.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.